What is up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you back to another episode of the second season of What If Goku Was in My Hero Academia. If you guys haven't seen the first season, there'll be a link to the full series video in the description, and if you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It is free, and you can always unsubscribe later. There's a link in the description of the video to join my Discord server, and also to become a channel member if you want to support the channel. I have another channel where I post Star Wars What Ifs, and I also have another channel where I post gaming videos, so if you want to check them out in the description of the video, then you can. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into the second episode of the second season of What If Goku Was in My Hero Academia. So in the last video, I covered the events of Class 1A fighting against Class 1B. But in today's video, I'm going to be covering one of the My Hero Academia movies, which goes by the name My Hero Academia Heroes Rising. But to be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea where in the timeline this movie would actually take place. We know it takes place after the battle between All Might and All For One, since All Might can no longer use One For All. And it happens before the events of the last video, as Deku doesn't have Black Whip yet. But I don't know if it happens before or after the events of the Overhaul arc. So for the sake of this what if, we're going to have it take place after the events of the Overhaul arc. This video begins on Nabu Island. Class 1A has been sent there to run their very own hero agency, as there has recently been a surge of villain activity in Japan due to the #1 hero All Might being retired. Some members of Class 1A are currently on the beach, doing their hero duties, and Choji says that they've got a kid who's in trouble. They swam out past the rocks. Otoi swims towards the kid, grabbing them with her tongue before throwing them into the air, where Goku flies in, catching the kid, and flies back to the beach before putting the kid down, and telling him to be more careful. While this is happening, other students are off helping people in different areas of the island, and Jiro, Uraraka, and Deku begin the search for a missing child, eventually coming across a boy who is missing, called Katsuma, but it turns out his sister who made the call to begin with was already there waiting with him, and she scolds Deku for taking over an hour to find him. The two children then walk off, Katsuma thanking Deku before being dragged away by his sister. He says there's no reason to thank him, and even though Jiro and Uraraka believe it is ridiculous that Deku had to apologise, Deku doesn't mind it, saying as long as Katsuma is safe, that's all that really matters. We head back to Class 1A's Hero Agency office, where a bunch of the islanders come in and give the students a giant feast to show their gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work they've been doing. But by the time everyone is finished cheering, Goku is already halfway through eating the entire feast, so the others quickly rush to grab food to stop Goku from eating all of it. After everyone has eaten, all the students go to sleep, leaving Bakugo to do the night watch as he has done nothing since they have arrived, and Goku and Midoriya are doing a small sparring match outside. By this point, All Might believed it was okay for Goku to know the secret of One For All, so All Might and Midoriya informed him about everything before their trip to Nabu Island, and told him that Bakugo also knows. Goku is trying to help Deku use high percentages of One For All, giving comparisons between it and his ki, but then Bakugo walks out before telling Deku to hurry up with making One For All his own, so they can have a real fight, and he'll prove he will become the #1 hero. Bakugo then looks to Goku, saying he better not think for a second that he will lose in their next fight either, and he will want Goku to go all out. Goku slightly laughs, saying he looks forward to it. Katsuma then arrives, telling the three that there is a villain, and Bakugo quickly grabs Katsuma, telling the boy to tell him where they are. Goku, Deku, and Bakugo, who is holding Katsuma, then all rush towards the castle ruins, where after arriving, they see a giant mantis. Bakugo tries to fight it, using his stun grenade attack on it, but he then realises the creature has no shadow, so he stops trying to fight it. The mantis then hitting Bakugo, but Bakugo goes straight through it, as he then slammed into the ground to stop the illusion. Maharo then says that's unfair, that thing was super scary and he just stood there, and Bakugo is furious at the child, beginning to walk towards her menacingly as he shouts at her, but Goku grabs onto the back of his collar, telling him that they are just kids, that's enough. The two kids then run away, Maharo saying how mean Bakugo is, but Katsuma says that he still went there to fight the villain. The next day, Deku goes out to do some hero work, and Katsuma apologises to him for the night before, telling him to tell the other two heroes that were there he apologised as well, and Deku and him then have a long talk, which is very insightful for both Deku and Bakugo, who is listening the entire time. Shortly after, Katsuma meets back up with his sister Maharo. and then a ship crashes onto the island with 4 villains standing on top of it. The villains then split up, 3 of them creating distractions for the heroes, while their boss goes after his only target, Katsuma. Bakugo is in the hero agency office when he gets a call from Maharo warning them of the villain's attack, but Bakugo doesn't believe her, Deku then grabbing the phone, but then the line cuts out. Deku then asking Bakugo what she told him. On the beach, Goku stands face to face with one of the villains, telling Ojiro and Tokuyami to head back to the office and tell the others what is happening. He will deal with this guy before they return. The two don't argue with this, knowing how strong Goku is, so the two head off, while Goku cracks his knuckles, and the beast-like man standing across from him does the same. Goku senses around the entire island, sensing 3 other malicious presences, but he has to assume his friends are already aware of them, and are on their way to fight them. He just needs to focus on his own fight. The villain then says that he thinks introductions are in order for such a famous hero. He remembers seeing Goku in the news, so out of respect, he introduces himself as Chojuro Kon. Goku says that he appreciates the gesture, but he doesn't really care about his name. All he cares about is stopping him and his band of misfits. Goku then rushes towards Chojuro, landing a kick on the side of his head, but all it does is push his head a bit. Chojuro then grabbing Goku's leg and slamming him to the ground before picking him back up and throwing him back. Goku lands on his feet, saying that he can finally let loose a bit, powering up to the fullest in his base form as both Chojuro and Goku rush towards each other and trade blows. Goku is surprised. This guy is actually evenly matched with his base form in terms of pure strength, but luckily Goku has techniques which Chojuro does not. The only problem is, Goku is deciding to not use them because he wants to test his raw strength against the villain, and he wants to keep it as a fair fight. Some of Goku's classmates then arrive, Goku thinking his classmates can handle this guy, and he tells him that he will go fight the boss while they deal with this guy. Goku's classmates saying alright, as Goku then kicks Chojuro back, before flying away, his battle with the other students of Class 1A then commencing. While this is happening, the villain known as 9 is slowly walking towards Katsuma and Maharo, saying that he's going to take Katsuma's quirk, but Deku gets in the way, taking the kids a short distance away, and telling them to run before he begins to battle against 9. But Deku isn't strong enough to take him on alone. Bakugo then arrives, attempting to take on 9 as well, but the result is the same, and as Goku is flying in and is about to join the battle, 9 sees this, and strikes Deku, Bakugo, and Goku with lightning. Deku and Bakugo are knocked out, 9 then falling to his knees as his illness overtakes him, and Kirika arrives. Goku stands in front of Katsume and Maharo, being injured by the lightning, but he shielded some of the attack with his ki, so he is still in fighting condition. Goku knows fighting here isn't the best option though, as it will put the lives of the 2 children, along with Deku and Bakugo at risk, but luckily, he doesn't have to, as the other students of Class 1A arrive, creating a gust of smoke which blocks the villain's vision, as the heroes get a chance to escape, along with the kids. We now head to the siege of the castle ruins. One of the villains was already captured, so there are only 3 of them left, and the 3 remaining villains get split up by a preemptive strike from Class 1A. Goku is with the group fighting Chojuro, as they realise they won't be able to match his pure strength without Goku. Todoroki freezes Chojuro into the lake, but after he breaks out, he activates his partial transformation, and Goku now realises his pure strength and base form won't be able to match him, so he'll have to use his techniques and work with the others. While this is happening, 9 is brushing through other students of Class 1A, and Kirika is winning her battle against Tokuyami. But after Tokuyami gains some ground, Kirika gets enraged, and after hurting Ashido, Tokuyami freaks out, Dark Shadow going berserk and taking down Kirika, but Tokuyami is knocked out as well. Deku and Bakugo are now fighting against 9, while we head back to the battle against Chojuro. Ida kicks Chojuro with Recipro Burst, but it has no effect, Chojuro throwing him to the side before blocking a punch from Kirishima and throwing him into a wall. Goku then covers his hand in a ball of ki, uppercutting Chojuro into the air, where Todoroki freezes him, but after Chojuro breaks out of the ice, he is paralysed. Thanks to Osui's toxic mucus, he can't move, so to get out of this, Chojuro goes into his complete transformation. Chojuro then shoots a giant mouth beam, Goku firing a Kamehameha in response, and the 2 beams clash, but with Goku only being in his base form, his Kamehameha is slowly being pushed back. Todoroki then shoots a blast of fire alongside Goku. Goku and Todoroki slowly beginning to turn the tide of the struggle, but Chojuro then stomps on the ground, making Todoroki and Goku lose their balance as their attacks falter, and as Chojuro's attack is about to hit the pair, Kirishima jumps in the way, in his unbreakable state. Asui then throws Ida into Chojuro, who lands a kick on his face, making him stop his mouth beam attack, and Todoroki then begins to trap Chojuro in ice, as Goku flies up and lifts his hands into the air, attempting to make the biggest ball of ki he has ever made. But Goku accidentally begins to form a spirit bomb from the energy of the planet. Goku then throws a spirit bomb at Chojuro, Ida using the last of his Recipro burst to run around and grab all his classmates before getting away from the blast radius. Chojuro attempting to shoot another mouth beam at the spirit bomb, however there is no effect, and then the bomb makes contact, creating a large explosion which destroys half of the island. We head back to the battle between Deku, Bakugo, and Nine. Deku and Bakugo are both in the clutches of Nine, and Deku decides there's only one way they can defeat Nine. Deku's bloody and bruised hand reaches for Bakugo. Bakugo grabbing onto it, and after a large gust of smoke is cleared, Nine sees both Deku and Bakugo using One For All. Deku is using the final embers of One For All, while Bakugo is now the power's new wielder. Goku then lands behind them in his Akari form, saying that they can't have all the fun without him, and Bakugo says that Deku won't be able to achieve his dreams anymore. After this, he will be quirkless again, but Deku has accepted this, saying as long as Bakugo achieves it for him, then it will all be worth it. Deku and Bakugo then Detroit smash into the air, Goku looking in amazement at the power on display, as the sky clears for them. Goku, Deku, and Bakugo then all rush towards Nine, all of them dodging and smashing through Nine's attacks, as finally, Goku, Deku, and Bakugo all land a consecutive final kick on Nine, with the remaining embers of One For All leaving Deku. And with that, the battle has come to an end. Sometime later, all the pro heroes arrive, after they retrieve the distress signal from Momo's drone, and Deku admits to All Might that he gave Bakugo One For All. After Deku begs for forgiveness, he passes out once again, but it is then revealed that Deku has One For All once again, and Bakugo no longer has its power or the memory of using it. Some time passes, and after Class 1A finish the rest of their scheduled time to protect the island, Class 1A are on the ship as they are about to leave the island. Goku is excitedly talking to Momo about his fight with Chojuro and the new attack he used, while Deku and Bakugo say goodbye to Katsuma and Mahiro. Deku's last words to Katsuma being that Katsuma can become a hero. And this is where we're going to end off this part. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to like, comment, and please do subscribe. It is quick and easy to do. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to Yeti Myth, Cam McPherson, Mega Exo, Mystic Angel, Jonathan Way, Neo Whitcomb, and All Might for becoming channel members. If you want to be shouted out at the end of a video, and get other perks like the channel members here, then there is a link in the description down below to become a channel member. It greatly supports me, and it helps me immensely. With all of that out of the way, I hope to see you all in the next episode of What If Goku Was in My Hero Academia.